Welcome back to Get Set Builds. Conveniently, or inconveniently, depending on how you want to look at it, the jet ski I've been recently using has a pretty bad air. This jet ski is top heavy, it's easy to flip, and when it does, it's hard to roll it back over. However, this happens to be the topic that I want to talk about today, so it's the perfect vehicle to demonstrate the solution. A solution that will work with motorbikes, cars, and even boats. If we place a symmetrical pole on a bearing, and then spin it, it's hard to predict where it's going to land, because there's more than one stable position. If we replace an asymmetrical weight on the pole, this design resists changes. And if we pull out our manipulator tool, we can observe what happens if we try to put the weight on the top. It will flip over on its own. However, you may notice a rather obvious flaw with this design. Our giant pendulum causes our boat to swing back and forth for a very long time. It will, of course, eventually slow down, but there's a solution to this as well. If we reduce the length of our pole while keeping our weight underneath our boat, we can reduce the severity of the pendulum's oscillation for the riders of our boat. Hopefully, it's fairly obvious that if you try to balance a weight on a pole, it's not nearly as stable as having the weight on the bottom of the pole, which is still true even if our weights and poles are invisible. In fact, in Brickadia, you don't need a physical weight or an invisible pole at all. If you go into the components section in one of your bricks and add weight, and then edit the settings, you can add or remove weight from a brick using the mass setting. You can change the theoretical size of your weight, and you can change where the weight is considered to be in relationship to the brick it's attached to. So, let's use what we learned to fix our capsized boat. We'll start by placing our weight below our boat. In order to place the weight downwards, we'll use a negative number. Keeping in mind that our boat is currently upside down, we now have a 1 kilogram mass that is 50 spaces above our upside down boat. However, our boat is heavier than 1 kilogram, so it is still able to hold up this mass. The reason we have our boat upside down is that we don't want it to be so heavy that it's going to sink. So now, we can creep our mass upwards and see how our boat responds. 4 is clearly not enough to ride our boat. However, if we try 8, there it goes. We found the lowest mass to ride our boat. This trick can help stabilize motorcycles or cars around difficult turns, or even right this fully inverted truck. Have fun out there, and I'll see you next time on Get Set Builds.